All right, let's move on with a look at what's making headlines in the French press this morning. Joining me for that is Haxi Myers-Belkin. Hi there.
Hi.
And we're going to start off with the very extensive reaction, I ought to say, all around France. Many French newspapers headlining on this, that the former economy minister, we were talking about it yesterday, Emmanuel Macron, he has now put himself up as a presidential candidate.
It wasn't a surprise, really, but the day has come. Macron on the left or on the right reads the front page of Aujourd'hui en France. And that's a question, as you just said, pretty much all French papers are asking today. We read here that his decision to run without taking part in the Socialist Party primaries will invariably shake up the traditional political scene. And if we have a look at left-wing daily Libération, they're seizing on the potential pitfalls of Macron's En Marche movement. It translates roughly as on the move. Macron, a former investment banker, is presenting himself as a pro-business socialist and is hoping to attract support from across the political spectrum. But here we see a two-headed Macron trying to walk in opposite directions simultaneously. His supporters are praising how modern he is, but they too are spinning around, not really sure what's going on.
Look like they're having fun there, don't they? I've been thinking he ought to call it the Goldilocks party. It's not too left, not too right, somewhere in the middle.
Maybe you should suggest it to him.
I'll write in. L'Opinion, the pro-business newspaper, of course, he's former economy minister, former investment banker. They've been taking a close look at what he's putting on the table.
They have. On the paper's front page, we read that Macron will invariably weaken President François Hollande, essentially eating into his socialist vote. But the accompanying cartoon isn't sure about the outsider's chances. We see Macron there as a young Mowgli from the Jungle Book, facing a host of malevolent rivals under the caption, "Let's get this party started."
That's a nice retro throwback allusion there. Let's go back to Libération newspaper, though. It's pretty much telling us that it doesn't really know what to make of Macron's decision, as it was kind of alluding to in that cartoon
Absolutely.
before.
The headline here reads, "Attention à la marche." Watch out for the step. A little play on a Macron's En Marche slogan again there. Today the paper's running two opposing pieces. One is entitled "Why Macron Can Do It." It cites the fact that at a time when voters are fed up with business as usual, Macron is cleverly positioning himself as something of an outsider. The other article, as you might guess, is headlined "Why Macron is Condemned to Fail." And we read here that the former economy minister simply isn't strongly enough placed ideologically to eat into the support of candidates running with the traditional parties. Both of those are worth a read.
I think we ought to say for our viewers, Emmanuel Macron, seen by many on the left as a little bit of a traitor, really. He was in the socialist government, wasn't he, but never signed up to the actual Socialist Party. The communist newspaper L'Humanité, taking a very firm stance, is pretty clear where they stand on this.
Yeah, they don't pack any punches. Emmanuel Macron might already be on the move, but his buses are bankrupt, reads this rather damning headline. You can see it there. One of Macron's key reforms as economy minister was to relax the market dealing in long-distance coach journeys in France. But this paper says that we can now see the ugly face of that liberalisation. We read that while Macron promised to create 22,000 jobs, he in fact only created 1,400, and that Megabus, a company at the heart of Macron's reforms, is now in financial difficulty and looks set to fire 175 employees.
Oh dear, bad times there. Well, we can move away to one of the more traditional political parties in France, Les Républicains, the centre-right party of the former President Nicolas Sarkozy. They're holding another debate today and a primary vote to select their presidential candidate on Sunday.
They absolutely are. This paper contains interviews with the three frontrunners in the centre-right primary. Their headshots take up the paper's front page. There's a favourite Alain Juppé, who's quoted as saying that effective reform is the only antidote to populism. Underneath him, you have their former president, Nicolas Sarkozy, who promises that under his presidency, no one will tell France what to do. And finally, François Fillon, who insists that he wants to lead, quite simply, with dignity.
And we'll just end on something a bit lighter, moving away from all the political, very important stories, of course. But space, the final frontier. France's 10th astronaut is going to be taking off for the International Space Station later on. It's really captured the imagination here, hasn't it?
He will, and it has, yes. The Alien reads the front page of 20 Minutes above a picture of, I think we can agree, a rather nice-looking gentleman. We then read that he's got a handful of degrees, can speak numerous languages, and is in perfect physical condition.
Is this an advert for his dating profile?
It might as well be. His name is Thomas Pesquet, as you said earlier, the French astronaut who's about to embark on a journey to the International Space Station on the Soyuz rocket. Now, that interview with Pesquet is well worth a read, and he does just get more and more interesting.
Indeed, and he'll be taking off in just a couple of hours' time, so very exciting times indeed for Space Watchers. Thanks very much, Axel Belkin, who'll be back later on looking through the international papers for us as well.